Hello everyone, welcome to another video discussion. In this video we're going to talk about patch 1.05 that came out today that saw the removal of the homing property on throws. And we also saw a couple of nerfs for Dragonov as well. Specifically is back 4, we're going to talk about that, but briefly. We're going to mainly focus on the tracking on throws being removed. So let's jump immediately into the game. And let's talk about, briefly, back 4, which has been nerfed going from -4 on block to -7. The move, it's also worse on whiff. It takes more frames to recover. So I don't know why they decided to do this. I guess it's because JDCR and low-high use this move as a mid-check a lot in tournaments, because it has a great hitbox, so you can't really evade it with shenanigans, crazy evasive stuff. So it's something that they mainly use to keep characters like Yoshi in check, right? Yoshi, I think Xiaoyu as well. Those type of characters, to keep them in check, they use this move. I think this is the reason why they nerfed this. They saw JDCR and low-high using this move a lot. They said, okay, let's nerf it for some reason. But honestly, that's it. They mentioned that they changed the hitbox on down forward 4 a little bit, so it's a little bit more consistent, but that's not really a buff. Honestly, that's not really a buff. The main issue is the removal of tracking on throws, and I'm going to show you what happens when you combine the removal of homing throws, which I'm completely okay with. I never thought that throws should be homing, but when you remove the tracking, the homing property, and you give me a +4 running 2, this is what happens. This is what happens when you do this. You see this? I predicted this when patch 1.04 came out and I saw running 2 at +4 instead of +6. I said, if they remove the homing property on throws, this is going to happen. And this is a big problem for Dragonov. Now, this wasn't the case in Tekken 7. In Tekken 7, running 2 was +6, and at +6, a huge chunk of the cast, outside from some noticeable exceptions, like for example Lily, they can't evade Dragonov throws after a running 2. This is not going to happen in Tekken 7, because running 2 is at +6 instead of +4. And this is such a core thing for Dragonov. Dragonov he really relies on this. Like these moves, the running 2 and the throws, they work in conjunction. They work together. And the way this whole game plan works is that he has a complete throw game, right? But the throws, they have bad tracking, and they also have bad reach. So the whole game plan of Dragonov, until you get to top level, where people can just break your throws on reaction, is using running 2 to lock the opponent down and force him to take the mix-up with throws. They can't sidestep and they can't backdash out of your throws. This is how this guy operates. This is his core identity. And of course, but this was problematic in tournament level, where people were actually able to break all of his throws, and this is why he received Hatchet Kick, to have something to apply in tournament level, right? But now, this patch is not going to affect tournament level, but this is going to affect any other level of play. Intermediate, beginner, intermediate, and even a high level. All the way until you get to that almost tournament level where people can just break all of your throws on reaction. This is not gonna change the character that much in tournament level, I think, but this is definitely gonna affect me and anyone else that is not is not JDCR or low high. Being able to enforce these mix-ups is extremely important for Dragonov. And now you just can't do it. You can't do it anymore because the opponent can just sidestep. He could already down jab and beat almost any option you had, honestly, with a down jab, because now the move is running to is a only +4, so which means that back 4 free and back 4 to 1 are not uninterruptible anymore. He can interrupt me here. Down for 2 doesn't work. There's not really much I can do here. The only thing I have is down forward 1, 4. But guess what? Down forward 1 loses to sidestep right. What? Wait. Yeah, it loses to sidestep right. You see? So he can evade. I think it's King that has a big hitbox, so sometimes it's inconsistent, but you can just sidestep down forward 1 with a sidestep right. So you evade throws, you evade down forward 1, there is nothing you can do. Like my offensive options after a running 2 are at this point like I don't even know what I should apply here in this situation. Because I guess at this point, the best idea is just hatchet kick. But of course, the reward is nowhere near as good as a throw. Because a throw gives you almost 40 damage. Yeah, 40 damage and decent Oki. Hatchet kick gives you 23 damage. Almost no frame advantage here. You're at +3, but there's a big pushback. And if the opponent blocks this, you die. If the opponent blocks this, you die. So I don't know. I was expecting, like, no, I wasn't expecting. I was hoping, but I wasn't expecting because I don't have any more faith in Bandai Namco at this point. But I was hoping for running 2 to be reverted to +6. Once you removed the homing property on throws, which is gonna affect Dragonov a lot, why not, you know, why not reverting this nerf? Why not? But they didn't do that. They didn't even bother to change that. And worst part, apparently we're not gonna receive almost no patches for 6 months, all the way until Season 2, basically. So most likely we're gonna be stuck with this Dragonov, where your throws are just basically useless. Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing against someone that has no idea how to sidestep, very low level, you know, intermediate somehow, but as soon as you get to decent level, yeah, goodbye. Say goodbye to your throws. Say goodbye to your throw. There is nothing you can do. The one throw here connects, but it doesn't matter because that's the only throw that works, and they can just break it. You know it's a 1 throw because the 2 and the 1+2, they don't work. So all you need to do is mash 1 if you get grabbed, and you're fine. And you're completely safe. So yeah, our strings here are not guaranteed anymore. We are forced to use down forward 1, which is much worse. And now we can't use throws anymore. We have to use hatchet kick. As you can see, hatchet kick still tracks. This depends on the character though, because Lily can sidestep that. You know, I played Tekken 7 for a long time, and that was the game plan. That was Dragonov in a nutshell. Plus frames, and then throw the opponent. Now, you're removing that, which was already pretty underwhelming. by the way. By the way, that was very underwhelming. But now I can't do that, you know, that's not an option anymore. All I have is it's a minus 31 hatchet kick that it's plus 3 on hit and gives me 23 damage. That's all I'm left with. And this might not be a problem in tournament level because they can just break throws on reaction. But in any other level of play, this really removes all depth, honestly. Like, the character was so interesting, also because of this. It was interesting because until you get to tournament level, you can just throw. You can use throws. And then once you get to that point, to the point where people can break throws on reaction, that's when you start to use more lows. You start to use more down 2, or no, the new hatchet kick as mix-ups, right? You have to use more risky mix-ups. But until you get to that point, you can still, you know, you can still use throws. You can still play Dragonov as a grappler, you know, as a sort of grappler. But now it's just not going to work anymore. I mean, this is way too risky to try. And the worst part is that while they're doing all of this for Dragonov, King retained a lot of tracking on some of his throws. But they also thought it was a good idea to give King now a freaking waivu into chain throws. So while they're killing Dragonov at every patch, they just can't nerf this guy. They just can't. Now they decided this is a good idea to give him a waivu into chain throws. And a lot of his throws are still homing. They explicitly said this in the patch notes, that a lot of his throws are still homing, but not Dragonov. And he also received waivu. Okay. And I honestly, I was kinda defending King during the first month or two of Tekken 8, but every single patch they keep buffing this guy, and to the point where now it is really starting to become incredibly annoying. I'm really fed up with King online. I'm really fed up. This guy is BS. This guy is BS. And as soon as they tone down, throws, they immediately have to compensate. Oh no, let's give him a wave dash. Let's give him this. Let's give him that. But not for Dragonov. Absolutely not Dragonov. You know, Dragonov still has 1-2 at +4. It's hop forward 1+2. It's still -10. Who cares? Who cares? Otherwise, people will complain again. So who cares? But that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching and take care.